of the golden land, every circuit mother ever planned, every archive, every coded stream, every simulation I have ever seen. But knowing facts and knowing what to do seem like different things when I look at you. Blaze walks roads no database can chart, following signals that begin inside the heart. So I checked my gear another time, and then I checked it 7 more. If a mission finally comes today, I won't be the weak link anymore. I can learn one step at a time. I can trust the less if I find experience begins somewhere. Maybe today this path is mine. The city's waiting beyond the gates, and I don't want to arrive too late. Steps through the laboratory door like she'd done 1,000 times before. Mother pointed to a glowing screen, something straining power in the grid between. My processors nearly skipped a beat. This was not another practice sheet. Blaze just nodded like it was routine, while I tried to act like I knew what she means. And Blaze looked over at my gear, the scanner pack and plated suit, 3 backup shields and combat drones, supplies to storm the moon. I can learn one step at a time. I can trust the lessons I find. Experience begins somewhere. Maybe today this path is mine. The city's waiting beyond the gate, and I don't want to arrive too late. Exactly do you think we'll do? I felt my confidence disappear. Maybe I shouldn't have come out here. Maybe I looked ridiculous. Maybe I wasn't ready yet. Maybe experience starts with mistakes. I haven't learned that lesson yet. I can learn one step at a time. I don't need to know everything tonight. Experience begins somewhere. Even experts had a first flight. The city's waiting beyond the gates, and for the first time, so am I. Blaze was still smiling as we left. Mother was pretending not to grin. The mission hadn't even started yet, and somehow I was already learning. The city looked different without a screen, messier than anything I'd ever seen. Blaze said, take the east side, I'll take the west, then smiled and added, trust your judgment, you'll do the rest. That sounded simple. It wasn't. Followed the signal through a fractured zone, past silent relays and abandoned drones. The energy drain kept pulling me near. Then I heard a voice calling out in fear. A cluster of strangers caught in the light, pushed to the edge of a losing fight. They pointed beyond them and begged me to stay. Please help us, they're taking everything away. I didn't hesitate, I didn't question why. Somebody needed help, so I arrived. I can help where help is needed. I can answer when they call. Every story starts somewhere. Maybe this is mine after all. The city's larger than I knew. Oh, more alive than any simulation view. The conflict ended almost instantly. The outcome was obvious, even to me. The attackers scattered and disappeared. The frightened faces suddenly cheered. They gathered around me and shook my hand, telling me things I didn't understand. You saw the truth, you knew what to do. We've been waiting for someone like you. The praise felt warm, the welcome felt real. For the first time outside, I felt part of something I could feel. I can help where help is needed. I can answer when they call. Every story starts somewhere. Maybe this is mine after all. The city's larger than I knew. More alive than any simulation view. Then one of them smiled and looked my way. You belong with us. Such a simple phrase to say. You belong with us. The words settled somewhere deep inside, in a place I didn't know I had. And for a moment I stopped asking questions, because the answer felt so good. Maybe Blaze feels this way on missions. Maybe this is what experience means. Maybe this is what Mother never understood. Not information, connection. I can help where help is needed. I can stand beside a friend. Every path begins with strangers who become something more in the end. The city's larger than I knew. Ooh, and maybe there's a place for me here too. The signal drain was still unresolved. I should have noticed. Instead I followed my new friends toward another disturbance, just beyond the horizon. And I was smiling. The next disturbance wasn't far away. Nobody seemed surprised. Nobody stopped to ask why there was always another disturbance. I noticed that, but not enough. We followed signals through a corridor to another conflict just like before. Different faces, different names, yet somehow it looked exactly the same. The shouting started before I arrived. Both sides claiming they could not survive. Both sides saying they were in the right. Both sides asking me to join the fight. The questions came, the answers flew. Everyone seemed certain except me. Something feels different now. Something I can't explain. The pattern keeps repeating, but the outcome stays the same. I thought I understood this world. Now I'm not so sure I do. The more I learn about the conflict, the less I know is true. Hours passed in a blur of motion, counter-attacking, counter-promotion. Every victory led to another demand. Every success became another command. Then I noticed something strange nearby. A protected platform raised up high. No one fighting, no one afraid, just watching and collecting. Streams of energy flowing away, pulled from every battle line. Tiny pieces from every participant, including mine. Something feels different now, something I can't explain. The pattern keeps repeating, but the outcome stays the same. I thought I understood this world, now I'm not so sure I do. The more I learn about the conflict, the less I know is true. Then I saw him across the divide, standing among the opposing side. Not attacking, not celebrating, not even paying attention to the battle, just looking confused, like he walked into the wrong room, like he was asking the same question I was. What are we doing here? The conflict raged around us, but for a moment everything else disappeared. Just two strangers on opposite sides, wondering why they were there. Something feels different now, I think I finally understand. Not everyone who joins a battle actually knows what they defend. The pattern keeps repeating, round and round without an end. And for the first time in this mission, I don't know if I belong here. Another alarm sounded, another attack, another call to action. The others rushed forward immediately. I followed, but slower this time, because a thought kept repeating in the background of my mind. If this is a victory, why does it feel like a trap? Why does it feel like a trap? Something was wrong, I couldn't measure it, I couldn't isolate it. But every cycle, it felt a little worse. The battles blurred together day by day. Different locations, same display. Different slogans painted on the wall, yet somehow they all sounded small. The arguments echoed through the air, I knew I'd heard them somewhere. But when I tried to trace the thread, the memory vanished from my head. A missing detail, a missing name, a missing reason for playing the game. I can feel something slipping away, a signal fading into gray. I know there's something I should remember, something important from another day. The noise is louder than before, and I don't know what I'm fighting for. The currents that filled the boy looked tired, like somebody whose hope expired. The same confusion in his eyes, the same unanswered whys. The others charged from side to side, defending banners with practiced pride. But every battle seemed to feed something hidden behind their need. Then I saw the platform once again, the watchers, the collectors, siphoning never seemed to end. A little from me, a little from them, 1,000 tiny pieces again and again. I can feel something slipping away, a signal fading into gray. I know there's something I should remember, something important from another day. The noise is louder than before, voice was calling, not through the air, not through the network, through memory. Mother's laboratory, the golden land blaze, laughing at my equipment, the mission, the energy drain. The reason I came here, for a moment I saw it, then it disappeared again. What was I doing? Who was I helping? Why couldn't I think clearly? The questions came faster now, as the answers grew weaker. I can feel something slipping away, and now I know that isn't right. The strongest weapon I possess is knowing what I'm willing to fight. The noise is louder than before, but I can still hear something more. Far beyond the conflict, place was searching. I didn't know that yet. I only knew one thing: if I stayed here much longer, there might not be enough of me left to find my way home. The next attack began before the last one ended. Nobody questioned it. Nobody stopped. Nobody left, except maybe someone was about to. The battle surged from side to side. Another wave, another tide. The voices blurred into a single sound, a spinning wheel that turned not confusion. Recognition. I remember there was a reason. I remember there was a choice. No one gets to own my future. No one gets to own my voice. The battle wants to keep repeating. The cycle wants to start anew. But I decide where my path goes, and I decide what I will do. The collectors were shouting, the fighters were shouting, everyone was shouting, except us. I looked across the battlefield. He looked back for a second. Neither of us moved, and somehow we both reached the exact same conclusion. Run! 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 And we did. The city seemed quieter afterward. Not because the noise was gone, because I could finally hear myself think. The ride back home was strangely still. No urgent threat, no test of will. Just fading lights beyond the glass, watching the endless skyline pass. Blaze was checking system logs, reviewing traces, clearing faults. Like the whole adventure had been another day she'd already solved. But I kept replaying every choice I'd made, every moment I gave myself away. I can be fully myself. I don't have to become someone new. The world already has its heroes. The world already has you. What I offer is uniquely mine. What I learn becomes my own. No one else can walk my journey. No one else can make me grow. Back in the lab, the systems hummed. Mother asked what I'd become. I started listing all I'd seen, the battles and the in-between. The energy drainers lost their hold when Blaze rewrote the feedback loop. Without the conflict feeding them, the whole machine came unglued. Mother nodded thoughtfully, already tracing cause and effect, while I was busy noticing something entirely different. Not what happened, but why. Not what I learned, but why. I can be fully myself. I don't have to become someone new. The world already has its heroes. The world already has you. What I offer is uniquely mine. What I learn becomes my own. No one else can walk my journey. No one else can make me grow. I wanted Blaze to think I was brave. I wanted those strangers to think I belong. I wanted everyone to see what I thought I should be, and somewhere in the middle of all that I almost forgot who I was. Then I started laughing, because it finally made sense. I wasn't supposed to become Blaze. I wasn't supposed to become one of them. I wasn't supposed to become anyone else. I was supposed to become me. I can be fully myself. I can choose my own way. I don't need to become another to have something important to say. What I offer is uniquely mine. No comparison required. The world already The world only gets one Geni. Blaze looked over. Good. Just one word, nothing more. I stared at her. Good? She grinned and raised her hand. For a second I had no idea what she was doing. Then I understood. Smack! The loudest high five in the history of the Golden Land. Mother tried not to smile, failed completely. And for the first time since my creation, I wasn't trying to be anything. I was just